Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to set up a tray line and create a photogram. So you're going to need your photo paper, some objects that are hopefully somewhat translucent. There could be varying amounts of translucency to them or opacity to them. And then once you have that together, you're going to come here to the cage and check out a basket for a dark room. You'll get a basket like this along with a bottle of fixer. So whatever room is on your basket is the room that you are assigned in. When you walk into your dark room, you're going to notice some things. So we have some graduated cylinders over here, and we have 4 trays. We also have a darkroom timer and the enlarger. We're going to set up our trays going from left to right, starting with the developer. We're going to set up developer, stop, fix, and wash. So first thing we need to do is go over to the developer and see if there's already some pre-made developer. If there's not, we're going to mix our own using one of the graduated cylinders that's in the darkroom. Here at the chemistry tanks, you're going to see that we have developer and stop bath. So if there's some bottles on top of the developer tray, those are already mixed and ready to go. So you can just grab one of those and take it to your room. If not, then you're going to need to grab your graduated cylinder and fill it up to 12 ounces. If there's already pre-mixed developer, you can just go ahead and pour it right into the tray. If you need to mix developer, you're going to pour the 12 ounces of developer from the tank into the tray and then add another 24 ounces of tap water. Next, you're going to need some stop bath. So you need to go back and get another one of your cylinders and rinse it out. As I forgot to mention that the first time, always rinse before and after using these just to be safe. Okay, so then you're going to come back to the chemistry and fill this with 24 ounces of stop bath. Go ahead and pour the stop bath into the second tray. Now, I like to go ahead and place what I'm using, or the bottles or cylinders I'm using, behind the trays so I remember what's there. And when it comes to put them away, we have a little bit easier of a job. Next, we need to go ahead and take the bottle of fixer that we got when we checked out our basket and pour it into the third tray. And then the last tray is going to be tap water. So you can just turn on the water and fill it up. And then when it's time to actually wash your print, you'll turn the water back on. But since we're not washing right now, I'm just going to make sure I turn it off. So next I need to make sure that my enlarger lens is set to f8. So the enlarger lens is right down here, and there are numbers on the bottom there, so we got to make sure that it's set on the number 8. Now I need to set an empty negative carrier into the enlarger. And so you want to go ahead and grab this handle right over here, swing it down, and take this and just put it right in here into the slot, and you'll see that it kind of sets in there, and then go ahead and take that handle back up so it's closed up. If it's not already there, place your easel right here on the base of the enlarger. This is what you're going to set your photo paper and your objects on. Now at this point, I need to go ahead and turn off the main light, turn on the safe light so I can see what's going on here with the lights. So I'm going to do that, but I am going to leave one light on just so you guys can see the video too. Next, we want to turn on the enlarger light with the enlarger timer. So let me show you how this thing works real quick. So you'll see that there's a switch right here, and if you have it up, it's for printing, and basically the timer works. If you have it down, it's for focusing, and it turns on the main light. There you go. So this is only for focusing, and there we go. Now my carrier is nice and in place. Now, let me show you what else is going on here. So when you have it up here on print, you can set the timer, and when you hit this button, it will turn on and the light will turn on for the amount of time that you have it set for. So let me go ahead and hit the button, and you can see that it's moving and the light is on. And then when it's done, it turns off. So for now, what I want to do is go ahead and put it, hit the switch so it's on focus, and we can turn this on. That's because I need to go ahead and raise this up so this light is covering this entire easel. So I'm going to come right over here, and there's a little switch, and I am going to pull this, push the switch up, until the light is covering the entire easel. I'm going to go up just a little bit more. I know it's kind of hard to see. Let me close the door a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. Now I do need to make sure that the light is focused. You can see that edge is not very sharp. So let me open this back up. Let's see, I go halfway in between here. So right up here we have the focusing knobs. So I'm going to turn this until the edges get sharp. Okay, now we have a nice sharp edge, so our light is in focus. So now I need to turn off the switch, and I need to make sure that this is set on 5 seconds. So if it was set somewhere here or whatever, just go ahead and move it right to the 5 seconds. Awesome. So now it's time to make my first test print. Now, at this point, you should definitely have the door closed tight and locked, and have the safe light on overhead, and have the main light off. Again, just for this video, I have the door open so you guys can see, but when you're doing this, the door should not be open. Okay, so I've cut a piece of 8x10 paper in half, so it's 5x8, and I'm going to place it on my easel. Now I'm going to arrange my objects. So I've got some flowers, some dried flowers, or some fake flowers I should say, and some pieces of film that I'm just going to throw in there. Okay, so now that I have my objects placed, it's time to make the actual test. So at this point I also need one of my boards. Oh, here it is. So I have my black board, or it could also be a red board. And what we're gonna do is we are going to test to see how much light is gonna look best for this. So we're gonna hold this over so almost the entire paper is covered except for about 1 inch. So if I'm looking over this right now, there is 1 inch that is showing that the light is actually gonna hit. Now at this point, I'm gonna hit the timer button so that the light goes on for 5 seconds. Okay, so now that that first 5 seconds went by, I'm gonna move my blackboard over 1 more inch. So now there's 2 inches showing. So we're gonna have this first strip is gonna get another 5 seconds of light, and the next strip that's showing is gonna get its first 5 seconds of light. Okay, so now we need to repeat this 3 more times because we want to be able to see how this is going to look with 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and 25 seconds of light. Once you've finished doing the 5 times, it's time to go ahead and process it in the tray line, just like we did when we did our pinhole photos. So we're going to do 90 seconds in the developer, 30 seconds in the stop bath, 5 minutes in the fixer, and 5 minutes in the wash. Now, like I said, with test strips and test prints like we're doing now, after 2 minutes in the fixer, we can bring it into the light. So if you would like to pull it out after 2 minutes to take it out and look at it and check in with me, that's totally fine. Just make sure you grab a clean tray to put it in before you pull it out. So once you're done processing your test strip, you're gonna come find me and we're gonna look at this test strip and figure out what between what times is going to be the best to expose your final print for. So for example, if it looks like somewhere between 5 and the 10-second strip is looking good, then you'll do a second test strip where you will break it down by seconds. So if we did the 5 to 10, you would pull out another sheet of paper, put it under the enlarger, put your objects back on, and then you would expose the entire sheet for 5 seconds. Then you would turn your timer so it's only going off at 1 second at a time. And you would do the same thing you did with the other test print. You would cover it, only leaving a 1-inch strip exposed to the light, hit the timer button for one, and it would go off for 1 second. Move it, do another second, move it, do another second, move it, do another second, and move it, and do it another second. So then we'll be able to see a full range from that 5 to 10 second point to see which one of those looks great. And then from there, we make the decision on which one looks good, and you make your final print. All right, guys, I can't wait to see your photograms. Once you're done with all of your printing, you need to clean up the darkroom. So first off, we need to get the chemicals back. So grab one of those bottles for the pre-mixed developer and a funnel, and go ahead and pour the developer back into one of those containers. Next, you're gonna take your stop bath and pour it directly back into the large container that has all the stop bath. Then you're going to grab another funnel and you're going to pour the fixer back into the bottle because you're going to check that back into the cage. So once you've done all that, you need to make sure that you're checking to see if there's any spills, if there's any chemistry anywhere, and clean all that up, okay? We don't want to have anything like that. We don't want people to slip. If there's chemistry on the counters or something, they could ruin someone's paper. So definitely don't want to do that. And then once you've done all that, then it's time to check your basket in back at the cage. And at that point, the lab assistant is going to check your darkroom and make sure that you've cleaned it up properly. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, make sure that you're reaching out to me, that you're asking the lab assistant or the lab technician.